Hi everyone, welcome to a new Begijnhoeve video. My name is Tommie and I would like to make a how-to video today about how to start or when do you start with the young horse with the lateral movements. I think it's very important that, like I said in all my videos, that you really look at your horse. So first, you need to have the balance right. So the transitions like we talked about in the earlier videos, it's all very important. For some horses though, it can be helpful if you do the lateral movements in an earlier stage to get them more in balance. But most of the time, those horses are like different kind of horses. So I would like to talk about the average, like we all have those horses. We not all have those huge talented horses who are like born to be a super Grand Prix movie star, whatever. So I will try to explain the basic things. What is important? I think it's very important that if you do your leg yield, shoulder in, your half pass, in the previous video Rob explained a little bit how to improve the shoulder in. I would like to take it one step down and start with the beginning, like how we do the lateral movements and why is it important. And also, for me, it's very important. I'm going to show you this with Quinten. He's turning 5 years old this year, so he's a pretty young horse. And in my opinion, it's very important that the young horses, I mean, if you educate a horse, the purpose, or at least my purpose, is the few years when they're young, I try to build a foundation. So for example, it's like a singer who wants to do like world tours. They have to prepare their voice, their body to handle it, because otherwise they won't last. And I think it's the same with horses. You really need to make a really good foundation. So by the time you want them to be a Grand Prix horse, the body is ready. Mentally and physically, everything needs to be settled and needs to be in a good following order before you can make a good Grand Prix horse. Okay, now I know that not every one of us has a horse who is able to do Grand Prix. In my opinion, that doesn't matter so much. For me, it's very important if you ride a horse, the only thing you want is to have this connection with your horse. You want to have fun every day. And of course we know it's not always so much fun. But the goal is not to go on a competition on Sunday and to be the number one. Okay, it's fine if you go on a show and they can do as good as you can and then maybe you win. That's very nice. But for me, the most important thing is that you have fun every day in what you're doing. What's really important is that you enjoy the process during the years. I mean, if you have a horse, it's your dearest friend and you want him to last as long as possible. So to keep your own mindset in the right way, that you going not to think of, I want to win all the competitions, but you're going to think of, oh, okay, how can I make the journey with my horse to educate him to the highest level we both can? Every day in a joyful kind of situation as much as possible. I believe that's the key for having success. Okay, I compare it always with football players. I mean, you have 11 or 12 or some reserve players. They all follow the same training from the same coach. And then you have some football players who never have any injury, who play all games and they're fine. And then you have also some players who gets a lot of injuries or and they have the same training. So it's not always true that every horse is capable, physically ready enough or good enough to do it. The only way most of the time to find out when you do it. But what I think is very important is that as a young horse, you have to build a certain foundation. The only thing we can do is the start of the process, of the start of the career of your young horse. You have to do it as good as possible. So this is a little bit what I want to emphasize one more time because I think it's very important. It's not important with young horses especially that you go every week on a competition, that you have be the number 1, 2, 3, whatever. The goal is build the right foundation for the future for your horse. That's what I'm going to show you right now. So yeah, the first blooper of 2021 is already a fact because yeah, normally we record the audio separate from the video, and this time when we want to try to listen the audio back, it wasn't there. So yeah, I need to do it like this with the voiceover, so it's probably a little bit different than you might used to in our how-to videos, but yeah, I still I hope I can do well. I'm now doing the warming up with Quinten. He's 5 years old, and I'm going to try to explain a little bit yeah, how to work with lateral movements. After you did your warm-up, yeah, I already made a video about it, how to warm up, so if you're interested in that, check this link. So I just warm up, and I said here it's important, or what is not so important, is that your horse is like having a really big trot or moves like yeah, very big or so. So it's very important to keep the trot really simple as possible, because the only goal here is that you teach your horse the meaning of the exercise. Yeah, with the young horse, most of the time you start with the leg yield. So what you do, you push with your left leg to teach him to go sideways. So you need to close your outside hand a little bit and push with your left leg to go sideways. Okay, you see now that the horse already knows a little bit of the job, which makes it a little bit easier to demonstrate. But what I do now is I push with my left leg and I close my right hand, and when he go a few steps of leg yield, I immediately quit the exercise and then reward him. Quitting what you're doing at the moment, so stop giving the aids, is already, in my opinion, rewarding for the horse. So I repeat it here, and then you see that I have a mistake, like now. He's falling over the right shoulder faster to the wall than I wanted. This is a common yeah, mistake. So how to fix this problem is what I mostly do, is I do a few steps of leg yield and then I go straight. And then I do another few steps and I go straight again. So if the horse takes over control, always try to quit doing what you're doing. In this case, he is thinking too much with me, which I really like in a horse. But he has to wait and he has to do step by step like I want. So this is already better. Now I feel that he wants to go faster to the wall than I want. I go straight again, and here I repeat it. Now it's better. And again, I say here that it's yeah, actually not so important how the trot is. It's very important that the exercise of the leg yielding is just very simple and easy. And after the horse understands it well, you can make some more transitions in the trot itself, like we talked about in our other videos, to get a little bit more expression in the trot if you want to. So this is better, and then I said I felt I lost a little bit of energy. So if your horse understands the exercise a little bit, then you can also start to apply some speed changes in the leg yield. And there I go straight, and when I look it back here, I didn't like actually what I see now, because he went forward, but then he went actually a little bit too low and too long, and he was running too much. But okay, that's for another video. Now I do the leg yield from the right. So I push with my right leg, and here you see I have more bending than I had to the left. So when I was riding at that moment, I didn't notice. Now I look it back, and I think I have a little bit too much of right bending. Sometimes it's easier when you bend him to the right, the balance go automatically more to the left. So sometimes it's helpful to do it, but I'm just saying it that you know that that's not really how I want it. In fact, when you have leg yield, he needs to be straight in the body and crossing the legs. In the leg yield, it's actually the only exercise where the horse is not looking in his direction. So, in fact, the leg yield is the first exercise we teach a young horse. A lot of exercises, they have gymnastic purposes. This one, I believe, also has a little bit gymnastic purpose, but the purpose here is that he understands what it means to go sideways from the leg. I think actually all lateral movements are practically the same. If I do half pass, it's the same like leg yield, only then I change the bending so he looked in the direction where he goes. If I do shoulder in, also needs to cross the hind legs when I push my leg, the same like the leg yield. The only thing is the variation in the bending. So if your horse understands the leg yield pretty well, then you can make variations, and you can start also to do the shoulder in and the half pass. So yeah, as you saw now, the leg yield was quite okay. I keep it simple because I don't want to have a big trot collected, whatever. I first want him to really understand what's going on, and that the body gets supple, that I find the right foundation, that I build the foundation what I just told you. So now I'm going to practice the shoulder in, and then I'm going to demonstrate now a little bit of how I do the shoulder in. In the beginning, it's actually a little bit the same like you give the aids for the leg yield. You push with your inside leg, but then you need to put the shoulders in. So you put both hands to the right, and then you keep him with his hind legs at the track with your inside leg, so he don't turn to the right, of course. So in the beginning, also when you teach your horse shoulder in, it's not important if it's like perfect, like needs to be in the test. It's just make him understand the meaning of it. Here you see it's already quite good. But I've seen, and I reward him also when he do well. So also in the beginning, don't focus too much on the bending or on the or how big the trot is or whatever. Just teach him that when you put your hands inside and you close your inside leg, that he don't go off the wall. And then the next step is also quite interesting. What you can do is, once your horse understands a little bit better what's going on, what I try to do as fast as I can when I train a young horse is that once the horse is in the exercise you want, you reward him by putting your hands forward and give no leg anymore, which made it complicated, because then the next step the horse needs to learn, when you let him completely on his own leg, like you see here. You see, I put my hand forward, he gets long in the body and he went out of the shoulder in. So I have two options. I can hold him all the time and not making that mistake, or I can try to teach him already, once he has a few steps good shoulder in, to put my hands forward. And then I want to teach him that he needs to stay in the shoulder in with less support of me as possible, because I think when you riding dressage, it needs to look like it's very easy, and therefore you have to make it easy. So, and it gets more beautiful the more you can teach your horse to do it on their own legs instead of too much with your hands or too much with your legs. Then it looks much nicer. So okay, I'm already making a few steps in this video. I'm starting with the leg yield, and then we're starting to do with the shoulder in. And then I tell you that already to fine tune it a little bit to make your horse understand that you don't support him all the time with your leg and with your hand, to make it very simple. And when it's simple, it looks nice. And again, it's not important. I mean, I see now he's maybe a little bit too low in the neck, and the trot is like very simple. I can make him trot bigger, but for now it's very important that you feel that the horse is, you have to find a speed and a kind of a position where you feel your horse is most comfortable and most easy, because you're going to teach your horse some new stuff. So it's important that it's very easy for your horse to understand. So do it in a way that your horse is most comfortable. So now I stick my hand forward, and then I try to speed him up a little bit with my left leg. See that here's I already making a little bit transitions in the trot itself, which is also again a next step. By making all those variations and try to do all those things, you get more control. And now I do in the leg yield the same. See, and now I speed him up a little bit, and then you see you get the trot more expressive. And of course, for now, if this would be in the test, it probably will be a little bit too much forward. But if you like, challenge your horse a little bit every time to go forward and back, and that it helps a lot with the coordination, and it helps a lot with making the body stronger, and that's at the end what you want, of course. I do it once to the right, so I push with my right leg, and now I open my hand and I go a little bit forward with my right leg here. Now it's okay. I still have too much right bending, I see now. I didn't notice when I was sitting on him, so this is also interesting for me. So yeah, that's actually a little bit how I try to train my horse. The lateral works. What is really important, for example, what I just showed you, if you have your leg yield and the horse is already thinking too much with you, just stop doing what you're doing, go straight, just do something else. So your horse get more focused and waiting for you, because if you have a clever one, you do it 2 or 3 times and then they already know the purpose, what you want, which is a good thing, because if your horse is not so clever and you need to teach him every day how to do it, it's also not so nice. But the thing is, they need to wait for you till you really say, okay, now you can go and now you have to stop. So you really have to feel, if your horse takes over, then stop going straight and then repeat. That's the thing. Yeah, like I said, it's very important to make the muscles strong, to have a good foundation to make him stronger, which is coming to my final point, and that's this. What is really difficult is you want to prepare your horse for the future by teaching him all these exercises. You have to feel when it's easy for him, you have to challenge your horse a little bit to make it a little bit more difficult. This is why I started already doing these transitions in the trot or in the leg yield and in the shoulder in to go forward and back, to challenge the body, to get more power in the hind legs. If you never challenge your horse to work a little bit harder, they won't get stronger. And that's also not good, because then when they have the age you really want them to do and they are not strong enough, you also get some problems. So this is a little bit how I start with my young horse to do the lateral work, and what's my opinion in building a right foundation with your horse. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, like always, leave them down in the comments and I will be happy to answer them. And maybe if you have some input or you want to demonstrate some stuff, let us know, and maybe we can make another video about it. For now, thank you for watching this video. You know it. If you like, thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe on our channel. See you next video. Ik had alleen maar altijd altijd mijn lekkere armmoeder. Nou ja, oké, you can see I work. Braaf.